Okay, so this is question number 7 on the chapter review for chapter 6 that I gave you. And this is about credit cards. It's about calculating interest, and it's per day, and certain purchases. If you make a purchase here on this date, then it accumulates until you pay it off. But if you make a purchase later, it accumulates over less time if you pay it all off on the same date. So we have to kind of think about it a little bit that way. So number 7 is a bit complicated. So let's take a look at number 7 here. Monique's credit card charges 20.85% per year on unpaid balances. On March 12th, March 12th statement, she had a balance of $739.65. By the due date, she made the minimum payment, which is 5% or $10, whichever one's greater. On March 16th, so 4 days later, she made another purchase. All right, so if she makes no other purchases or payments, what will her balance be on her next statement, April 12th? So we are looking at this purchase on March 12th, and we're looking at this purchase on March 16th. The other thing, though, guys, what we have to do is we have to calculate the, she made the minimum payment, which I don't think any of you considered this in this question. So we don't want to forget that, because if you forget that right away, then we're dealing with the wrong number at the very beginning, right? It kind of follows us through. So for this question, then, what you have to do is you have to look at what is the minimum payment. So let's do this. Minimum payment. It's going to be 5% of her balance that she had at first, or $10, whichever is greater. So let's do $739.65 times 0.05 and find out what 5% of this is. And that should be
$36.98.
exactly $36.98. Now, is that greater than or less than $10? It's greater than. So this is what she has to pay. So the balance that she's starting off with on March 12th here is actually $739.65 minus $36.98. Okay, and that equals, I'll just help you out here, 702.67. Okay, so this is actually the balance that's going to start collecting interest. Okay, or accruing is the word, the fancy word, accruing interest. That means that's what interest is being calculated on. Okay, so the 702 is an important number. That's what we want to figure out. Okay, so March 12th, let's figure out on this balance right here, that's going to go from March 12th all the way to what? April 12th. All right. So March 12th to April 12th, and I'll give you a calendar, March 12th to April 12th, we want to count all of these days on your calendar, including, both days, and that should be 31 days. Okay? So this is going to be 31 days here. So now we have this as a principal, we have this as a time, and what's our rate? 20.85. Okay? So sorry? Yes, we do our I equals PRT. Awesome. Okay, so we want to calculate the interest on this. The principal is our 702.67. Our rate, so remember, this is going to be days, right? So this is a yearly rate. So we have to either put the days in terms of years or the rate in terms of years. One of them. So I think normally what we've been doing is putting the days in terms of years. So let's go yearly interest rate. Okay, so that's year. And then we're going to have to do 31 days in terms of years. So that's 31 out of 365. Remember doing this? So now this is actually years as well. It's a fraction of a year. Okay? So you have to have the percent. If it's a yearly percent, you have to have the time in years. Or if you want to put the percent in days, then you can have the time in days. So it doesn't matter which one you divide by 365. You could do either one. Okay? So what do we get? What do we get here? Let's see. That should be, anybody got it? I get 287. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't put the decimal. Sorry, I put the decimal in the wrong spot there. 20.85, we have to use that as a decimal, okay? So that's going to be 2.87.
Oh,
Did you get that?
I used it wrong.
Okay. So yeah, so that's going to be 0.2085 for the rate. Decimal form always. Okay, so 287, that's what's going to happen here. 287 is going to be, so we got 702 plus we got 287. Okay, so that's the first part. That's this purchase. That one's taken care of. We've got the minimum payment. That's calculated in. Good. So now all we got to do is figure out what happens with this payment, right? So over here, let's go March 16. That's also going to go to April 12th, right? So March 16, oops. Guys, this is the number for the second purchase. So what did we get here? Did nobody else do this one? This one actually should be not 2 but 12. Did anybody get that? So I was looking at part 2 here. It's actually 12. 287 is from the other one we're going to calculate now. This is 1244. That's why you guys need to help me out with this calculation so we don't miss anything. But anyway, sorry about that. So 1244. Now, the 280 is from this one. It's actually from the blue one. So I'll go to blue here now. Okay. So how many days from March 16th to April 12th? Well, again, you get on your calculator and you can add them all up. You want to include both days, including March 16th here, and the end date of March 12th. So that one should be, 28 days. Okay, 28 days. So let's go again. I equals PRT, and we already know what this one's going to be. So I is the principal of 179.39, right, times R. So what's the R? Is it the same as before? Yep, same credit card, so same rate. So 0.2085 times the days would be actually in years would be 28 out of 365. Okay? So, to make sure to double check this one, look at the right part of my paper here. This one is going to be, when we multiply all that out, this one's going to be the $2 one, okay? 287. There we go. No, this is all for A. A is a really long one. It should have given you more space for A here, but. So, let's go back now in red. Let's identify everything that we need to add up. Okay, so we need to add up this 702 plus the unpaid balance. Oh, no, we're not going to add this because that's already been paid. So just the 702 and the interest on that. We got to add this new purchase, which is the 179, and the interest on that. Okay, so we've calculated the interest on each separate purchase, and they were purchased at different times, so we have slightly different number of days that they're calculating on. Okay, so we add up all of these, one circle in red, and for A we should get, let's see, I did this already, so it should be 897.37, I believe. Okay, so this question is really involved with the credit card questions. You guys have to be ready to kind of calculate interest on individual purchases. Okay, and letter B actually is pretty easy. So we'll just finish off number 7 here. So letter B, on April 12th, what will her minimum payment be? Well, this is the balance, isn't it? Okay, so we need to do 5% of that or $10, whichever one is more, right? So 897.37 times 0.05%. This is a decimal form of the percent. And what is that? Calculate that on your calculator there. What do you get when you punch those in? $44.87, correct. Okay. So if this is greater than $10, this is the one we have to pay, and of course this is greater than 10, so this is the minimum payment. Okay, so that's number 7. It's a long one. It's not a lot of fun, I wouldn't say, but if you can keep everything in track. And now the big thing is that many of you didn't remember, okay, was this minimum payment at the beginning. You got to take that $36.98 off at the beginning. Okay? Then calculate the interest on what remains from the purchase date till the next statement date. And do that for every purchase within the month. Add them all up. Questions?